This is my 2010 271,000 mile ex-taxi Toyota Avensis estate. It's got a roof box, it's got a bike rack, it's got a no smoking sticker, it's got a white bonnet and boot. This car has got everything that I need. I actually bought this car off of a good friend 5 years ago, back in 2021, for the total sum of £500, and for that I got the vehicle, half a tank of fuel and the roof rack. He was a taxi driver, he'd owned this for many years, he'd driven it a lot but loved and cherished it. Without a doubt though, this car is one of the main reasons why I'm able to invest each month like I do and build my investments over time. So previous to this car, I had a Vauxhall Insignia in full salesman spec. It failed its MOT spectacularly. There was a long list of things that it wasn't viable to repair. So my friend, who was getting out of the taxi game at the time, offered me this, and I just couldn't say no. The plan was to run it for 6 months or so until I'd figured out what car I wanted to drive. But 5 years on, I'm still driving it and I absolutely love it. It's an older style 2-litre turbo diesel kicking out a groundbreaking 130 brake horsepower. It is quite torquey though, it starts first time every time, and it is genuinely a pleasure to drive. It's not great on fuel compared to modern cars now. It averages between 38 and 40 miles per gallon. I'm driving between 8 and 10,000 miles a year though, so this isn't an absolute deal breaker. And incredibly, the car is still on its original clutch, original injectors and original turbo. In those 5 years, the only real failures it's had on MOTs has been bushes, bearings, that sort of thing. And the only real big problem I had was that there was some rear suspension control arm bushes that had failed, just a wear and tear item, but Toyota didn't sell the bushes on their own, so you had to buy the whole like suspension arm. It was a few £100, but other than that, in the 5 years I've had it, this car has had nothing other than brakes, tyres, just normal consumable items. Now I will admit that I hardly ever wash this car inside or out, but I do get it serviced every year. And I do have my eye on, so Toyota give you like a high mile badge. I think the first one is at 150,000 miles and the top one is at 300,000 miles. So I've got my sights set on that 300,000 mile badge, but I know it's going to take me a few years to get there. Now the funny thing is, I do actually like cars, like I really like cars. Years ago, before I had a mortgage, I was a bit of a petrol head. I had a track car, I had a Ford Racing Puma, I had a Corsa VXR. I really enjoyed that sort of thing, was probably borderline a petrol head, but of course throughout life your priorities change. Now, to be clear, like if I had unlimited money, I would absolutely not be driving a £500 ex-taxi, but for where I'm at in my life right now, this makes complete sense. And the main reason that I've come to learn is that although I like cars, I like financial freedom more. And let's run some back of the envelope numbers. So if I had a car on finance or lease or hire purchase or whatever I want to do it, say it's between £300 and £400 a month, which seems to be a really commonplace figure for like a mid-range, I don't know, family car, whatever you want to call it. That's roughly £4,000 per year. Over 5 years, that's £20,000. Even buying a car that's like 1 to 3 years old second-hand might cost between £12,000 and £18,000. That car will still depreciate several £1,000s at least over the next few years. Now for this car, even including the servicing, the brakes, the tyres and everything I've replaced on it over the last 5 years, I don't think it's cost me more than £2,000, which to me is just like night and day difference. And so compared to finance or hire purchase or whatever, or leasing, whatever else you want to do, I think this car has saved me in the last 5 years between £15,000 and £20,000, which I've been able to deploy into other areas of my life, such as investing, such as the mortgage, such as holidays and normal life things. Something I've seen happen with my own eyes in front of me in recent years is that people are almost going broke trying to look rich. So financing the latest cars, going on holiday to the Maldives, for example, buying the Rolex watch, whether it's on finance or whether they just overstretch themselves expenses wise, it's all just leading to living beyond your means, just to try and please some people on the internet that might think you're doing better because of it. When you pull out flash things, it looks like you're doing really well, whereas in fact the reality is often far from that. People don't see the things that actually mean you're doing well. People don't see the fact you've got an ISA, the fact you've got a pension, the fact that you've got investments or an emergency fund in your savings account. All those sorts of things aren't flash, aren't on your Instagram page, but are actually more important than the new thing that you're flexing. Well, nobody sees those unless you have a YouTube channel called The Compounding Project, on which you share all those things. So thank you very much for watching, and please do hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of that sort of stuff. Sometimes I think people judge you by your car, your clothes, your phone, and because of that, I see people trying to optimize their life with that in mind, buying those things or financing those things so that it looks like they're doing better. All too often, and I get the feeling, you pull in a car park somewhere, you're meeting friends or family, and what you're pulling up in defines how successful you are. I know that is so far from the truth, but that's the perception very often, isn't it? That defines this vehicle to get me from point A to B, gives people the impression of how well I'm doing in life. And maybe this car is an extreme example of like frugal living or refusing to spend money on those things, and it does perhaps draw more attention than another cheaper vehicle. But I, for one, don't give two hoots what people think about me when I pull into a car park in this vehicle. I know that I'm on my own plan and my own journey, and I don't care what other people think of me. Now, I know some people struggle with that, but I personally don't. If anything, I love it when I pull up somewhere and somebody goes, "What on earth is that?" And I'm like, "It cost me 500 quid 5 years ago," and they soon zip it. They're like, "Oh, right, oh, okay." And if they do take the mick, I'm like, "It cost me £500 5 years ago." Like, it's just a end of argument for me. One thing that I'm really keen to do on this channel is to normalise living within your means. Now, I'm not suggesting that you all need to go out and find your local taxi rank and buy the old clapped out taxi they're getting rid of. But what I do want to try and normalise is buying things that you can afford to buy, riding or driving or using older things that you own outright. I think a lot of those decisions are sensible. I think I'd like to make it really clear that getting out of the habit of constantly upgrading things is a really good thing to do. And I know that those sorts of decisions aren't flashy. They're not going to look good on the internet. They're certainly not good for YouTube clicks, but in 10, 15, 20 years plus, those will have the biggest positive impact on your life, much more so than, "Oh, I had this new watch 10 years ago. Does anybody remember that?" When I think about wealth and what is my definition of wealth, I don't think my definition of wealth is being able to drive the newest car, having the latest smartphone. I certainly don't think it's things like having the biggest TV on the wall or have you been to Dubai in the last 6 months, anything like that. I think of wealth as different things, and I've had to make a list. There's that many interpretations. Being able to make the option to change jobs, being able to make the option to work part-time, options to start a business, options to take time off or travel or just enjoy some free time, options to retire early potentially if that's what you're interested in. Mostly though, options to not be stressed about money at any point. That to me is what actual wealth is, having time within your control rather than having to go and do something for so many hours a week so that you can live. That is real wealth to me. The biggest benefit of this car to me isn't just the money, it's the lower stress levels that it brings. I'm not worried about depreciation, it's already at rock bottom value. If anything, it's worth more now than when I bought it. I'm certainly not worried about when somebody opens their door in a car park, or you park it somewhere risky, or you park in a tight space, you think, "Oh, somebody's going to nick that on the way out." That is not a stress in my life right now. If something was to go wrong or change with work and income, then I don't have a big car finance payment hanging over me. Sure, that would still be a problem, but I'm reducing my monthly living cost amount through having a car that I own outright, not having that outgoing every single month. This car is one of the ways, but a big way, in that I reduce that monthly amount of money that I need to live, and that in turn gives me more options in life. This channel is called The Compounding Project, and most people think that the compounding is just relevant to stocks and shares. Actually, it's relevant in all areas of life, and I actually think it's more important in your behaviors and your habits and doing things like this, because this will have a big impact in my life for many years to come. Things like driving a cheap car, living within my means, investing every month, all of those decisions compound into hopefully making my life very different in 10, 15, 20 years. Well, I'm hoping so anyway, because look at it. So I'm not driving this car because I can't afford a nicer one. I'm driving this car because I would prefer to drive this car and have more options in life. I see people going broke trying to look rich. I guess I'm trying to do the opposite, get rich whilst looking broke. Thank you for watching.